Good afternoon, YouTube. I hope everybody had a good holiday. Heidi and I did. We appreciate all the well wishes, and right back to you. I'm doing some work, and the weather's so let's go talk about that.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
40-degree high today. You can see there's a wind, so all this mud mess, as you can see, froze solid, and now it's slowly thawing out. Yeah, I'm still really upset about all this because I got to clean up all this lawn, but I got to wait until it gets wet and moist and muddy again, and I'm going to get out my roller for my tractor. Yeah, I think these railroad ties are pretty much done. I don't think I'm going to be using them anymore. You can see they kind of got ate away. They weren't in the best shape when I put them in there. That's why this one has that concrete patch. I talked to my brother who does asphalt. He hauls asphalt. He has his own trucking company, and he's been doing it for years, and he told me that I need to find somebody that has asphalt millings and just the finest stuff available, and it'd be best to use that. Do you see these paper cups in our yard? There's one there, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. Somebody, when they drive by the house every day, when they get done with their Polar Pop, they throw it in our yard as they drive by the house every day. I don't know. I'm gonna catch them. It's gonna be their butts. The truck's starting to look naked back here. I took the tank out in that hose situation. Of course, whenever I get rid of this, I'll just leave this in. It only makes sense. Now, if the guy wants to repair it, I did save the fiberglass patch that goes in there to make it a little bit easier. The piece that I cut out, the blank. But I think I'm going to go ahead and take out the winch and the battery. I don't think there's very high demand for that. I don't think that there's going to be anybody specific that needs the winch. So that'll probably come out. And then the interior I haven't even started on. I've got so much stuff in here. I've got a new challenge though, as this big CB antenna is it just sits back here until we go on a trip and I go ahead and stick it on the roof of the truck. I don't know if you can see, but these are huge magnets, and I mean they are very strong, very, very strong. They're way overkill for this antenna, but I figured I'd get something that was easy to put up there, and this has worked out like a charm. So what's the challenge? That new truck is all aluminum. Magnets don't work on that, so I don't know what I'm going to do for the CB. And Heidi said maybe we'll install in CB, and of course there's better ones out there. Alright, got some work done. Not a lot, but at least this bed's freed up and cleaned out. This bed rug has been in 3 different beds. The first bed I installed it in was in my F250, and then my F250 got totaled. So I had to go to the wrecking yard with my totaled truck, and I picked up another bed, and then I installed the bed rug in there with a new installation kit. And then of course when I sold that truck, I wanted to keep the bed rug, so I took it out and I put it in this truck. These things are very durable. They're not supposed to stain, but you can see after a period of time you can get some stuff in here that'll leave a stain, that's for sure. Now have to focus on the front. Oh, I gotta put the spare tire in here because I put that big 38-gallon tank on here with the hitch. There's no room for the spare underneath. I could probably make room, but it would hang awful low. So yep, throw the spare in here, and that's it for back here now. Well, it's a new day. A couple days have actually gone past since that last little clip, and look at Ohio. This is why I hate Ohio. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. This is the kind of weather that just depresses me. I don't know how people can live in countries or cities that see a lot of this. It's just gray. It's just a gray day. That's the best way I can describe it. Anyways, I've got to go ahead and start cleaning out the inside of the truck. You know, I did that in the video the other day of the backside, and I pretty much haven't done anything since. The truck needs cleaned out inside as far as all the stuff that's in there. And some of the people have been asking me about some of the stuff in there. Let me talk about that real quick. You can see it's kind of dirty on the door here, and I ordered some of these. I can't believe they still have them. They're kind of discontinued, but I found a guy who had some on eBay, so I bought 3 of them for the new truck. So what's staying in the truck? Yeah, the camera system. And the reason is because not so much the monitor's an issue. You know, it's just mounted with adhesive on the dash, but the camera back here, you know, I've drilled a hole in my cap and mounted that. I don't think I want to take that out. The thing is if I decide I miss having the camera, go EcoBoost. If I missed having the camera on the RV, which I might when I'm driving down the road, I can buy another monitor, just the monitor. They sell just the monitor. It's kind of expensive, you know, you're talking about $160-ish just for the monitor, but it's not a big deal as far as putting it in that other truck. It just plugs into one of the power ports. I don't have to actually wire it in or anything. Now, here's the thing. If I was to take this out, you know, then there's just the camera hanging off the back of the truck that somebody would have to buy the monitor for to work. Well, again, I think it's kind of a selling point. But, you know, if somebody wants to try to dicker on the price too much, you know, I'll start pulling off accessories. Of course, the stereo will stay in here. Somebody will get a nice stereo. Again, that's another good selling point, this stereo. As far as the this mount, it'll come out because it is a basically when you put a phone in, it starts charging it. This is a wireless charger. And of course the WeBoost, I've been talking with them and I've got sort of an issue. Unfortunately, if I put the WeBoost in the new truck, the magnetic antenna that's outside, you can kind of see the wire over there maybe. Let me try to get you in the light there, or out of the light. That wire just goes through the door frame and then it goes out to this little antenna. Yeah, that antenna is magnetic. Not only that, but it uses the steel roof as the ground plane. So I will have to do something as far as mounting it with 3M adhesive on maybe a stainless steel plate that's, they said 3 by 3 inch you can get away with. I might want to go a little bit bigger just to have a little bit bigger ground plane. And I would have to 3M adhesive it to the roof of my new truck so I make sure it's stainless. And then that little magnet can go on top of there. I don't know if I want to go through all that trouble yet. See, the thing is, the truck has some options that we're not really utilizing, and we could. Yeah, just before we even start, yeah, the garage is still messy. It's a disaster. But some of the options we're not utilizing on that new truck is it has built-in Wi-Fi. Right now, I have Wi-Fi service for, I don't know, another 6 months or something. It's part of the original purchase agreement. And then at that point, we have to decide if we want to continue on with it. Maybe we need to look at it. Maybe we need to see if that's something we want to do, is continue to have a hotspot. I know that the signal that hotspot offers inside that truck may not be as good as that little WeBoost one. So basically, it's coming out of the truck, and we're going to put it back in the box and see what happens. I mean, that's really what I've got to do to a lot of this stuff. And then as far as everything else inside there, it's just cleaning it up. So there's very few things that are going to come with me. The GPS, I meant to mention that. I love my GPS. That dash cam GPS has served me so well for so long. If it failed tomorrow, I would immediately go buy the exact same one. If you guys didn't see, I don't want to turn this into a thing, but if you guys want to see my review on that, it's the Garmin Nuvi Cam. That's it, Garmin Nuvi Cam. That GPS has been very, very good for a long period of time. And no, it's not RV specific, and I have my own feelings about RV specific. I see that the problem with those, which I've mentioned in the past, and I'll just go over it again since we're already talking about it, is that the infrastructure in the US is not well enough documented and not well enough put into one resource that a company can grab all that information and know that not only is it updated, but then apply it accurately to a GPS. What I mean is, there's not every bridge in America documented somewhere. It should be, but it's not. And when they have repaved the road, and now the roadway is another 3 inches or 5 inches taller, the clearance between the bridge and the asphalt's different than what it was, and how fast that gets reported and actually stored somewhere. And not only that, but how fast does that information get relayed to the GPS manufacturers? Not only that, how fast does the GPS manufacturers make sure those updates go out? And not only that, how fast are you doing your updates to make sure that you have the latest every single time it comes out? So you can see where if you get one of those RV specific GPSs, it tells you about all these rest stops and low bridges and stuff like that. You may not have that information on the GPS because of all those factors. That's a lot of them. Talking with some people that have had them, I've seen or have heard that they have been routed off of locations and around obstacles because their RV is technically too heavy, too tall, too wide, to come to find out that that was old information and that overpass has been cleared, 2 years prior, and they could have continued on the road. It's one of those things. Even my GPS, which I just got it set up for car, and I just pay attention to the signs as we drive. There's stuff that I come up to and it's like, why is it routing me down here? And what's these roads? This is crazy. And why don't I just go straight where everybody else does? And usually I do. I just follow a different way. That's also why we run the Waze app at the same time and put in dual destinations, the same destination, but on dual pieces of equipment, I should say. And kind of make a decision on based on what we see on the road, maybe what the map says if we have to go to a map that's in the back of our truck, and what the two GPSs are telling us. You got to be conscious about that. So to make that long story long, it's already long. I'm going to take the GPS out and we're going to put that in the truck too. So I got a lot of little stuff. Oh, and I got to get my Easy Pass out of there for sure. I'm putting my Easy Pass on the new truck. Heidi was asking about tags. In the state of Ohio, you can pay extra and have your tags for longer than just 1 year. Not a lot of people do it, but it is nice convenience that I got these tags last year, and of course they're good for the 2018, the rest of 2018. They're good for 2019, and they're going to be good then up until my birthday on 2020. And then I'll have to decide if I want to redo them again. Now, it's kind of expensive whenever I pay for a couple of things. First of all, I pay for that name to be on there, that RV Puller. That costs a little bit more, and for every year you renew, they just add that up saying, okay, you want a custom tag for 2018, you're going to have to pay whatever it is, I can't remember. And then if you want to pay for 2019, it's going to cost that same amount. And if you want to pay for 2020, it's going to cost that same amount. Not only that, but we have Ohio State Parks tags to help support Ohio State Parks. And that is an additional fee for each one of the years that you renew. And then, of course, you have to pay for your renewal, your registration for each year, too. So basically, a 2-year renewal costs about $360. And it's not crazy expensive. Like I said, part of that supports Ohio State Parks. But it is still expensive. And if I do like 4 or 5 years, I might have to take out a loan to pay for my tags. Some point where then this truck, I'll take it down and maybe get it detailed. I'll get it washed. I'll wash it myself and then see what it looks like. I'll try to clean the interior myself and see what it looks like. And if I don't like the way it looks, then maybe we'll drop it off and get it detailed somewhere. And and then put it up for sale, because it is time. It is time. The one thing I wanted to do, and I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to, is put this thing side by side with our new truck. I'd really like to compare the two, but the problem is by time summer comes around, or by time I finally get to it, where the weather's decent, and I outfit that other truck with the towing that's needed, the towing setup that's needed to pull our RV, if things go well, this truck will be sold. If it was summer right now and that RV was sitting here, I would definitely be doing that, but it's not going to work out that way. I just know it, but that's what my intentions were. I don't know if that's going to do you guys any good. It's a new day, and it's a nice day. Let's talk about the weather and some of the stuff that we need to be doing, Heidi and I, that is. 60 degrees is going to be the high today, and look at all this sunshine. Well, look at all the mud too, but look at all the sunshine. That's the most important part. Blue skies, fluffy clouds. Just to think, the other day the high was 24 degrees and all this was frozen. So not so bad. I'm kind of happy about that. Heidi's home because it is Sunday, so that's nice. So what's the stuff that Heidi and I need to do? Well, she's inside today and she's going to go through our deep freezer downstairs, our freezer upstairs, our refrigerator upstairs, obviously, and all of our cabinets, our pantry, and then we have another set of cabinets. And she's going to clear out all the food and to gather it all up. And I told her not to do any grocery shopping this week, and we're going to try to make meals of everything that we currently have that's in the cabinets. After that, after all those meals are set up, she's going to figure out how far we can go. Our goal is on December 12th. We set a date. On December 12th, Heidi and I is going to have to start a diet. The reason is because Heidi is at a pretty decent weight for herself and she don't like it. She weighs 100. So, yeah, that's not good. And in my case, I weigh 200 and... I'm kidding. I'll tell you what I weigh. I don't care. I'm at my peak weight. I've never weighed so much in my life before. 266 pounds. 266. To give you an idea, when we went on our trip to Florida, I weighed 214 or 215. Yeah, 215. I was actually down to 207 for a period of time, and then I went up. I just got tired of the diet. And when we were on vacation in Florida, we started eating like we were on vacation in Florida. we didn't stop. It's kind of like an alcoholic can't have just one drink. Well, and like in our case, we couldn't have 2 weeks of eating junk food and then try to get back into our old habits. And we were enjoying ourselves. You know, it's kind of entertainment for us to actually go out and try restaurants and sit down and eat. Problem is, there's no healthy alternatives really around this area, so maybe we shouldn't be doing that. Maybe we'll look at that the next time. So I got to drop some weight. And Heidi, she likes to join along at that point because I'm usually buying food, or having her buy food, I should say, that's pretty decent. So I got stuff to do today on the truck. Well, both trucks. I need to clean out the front. I never did do that. I got busy and I drove this truck around, and man, is this thing driving really good. The more weight I take out of it, the better it drives. Shouldn't be a surprise. And anyways, other than clearing out the front of the truck, I've got to work on this truck today. But I did want to cover this a little bit for you guys, and then I'll do a more thorough video, I think, for my other channel, because that's kind of more of an automotive channel. But one of the things that somebody had asked was some of the features that we had, some of the options. So let me try to go over them kind of quick. And the thing is Heidi's been driving this almost exclusively, so I honestly haven't had a lot of hands-on a lot of this stuff. We got a camera right here that's underneath the blue oval there, and we've got cameras on both mirrors right there, and there's one on the other side just like it. And then there's a camera on the back of the cap, let you see down in the bed, or if you're trying to hook up a fifth wheel, which we don't have a fifth wheel setup in here. I don't even know if we'd mess with it. Maybe we'd have to drill up here. I would have Ford do that if I was to install. I wouldn't want to install it. We have a camera back here then too. This is just an LED light. And then of course this is for your spare tire. Here's your 7-pin connector, your 4-pin connector. This is going to be a very nice change for me, because that old truck I had to reach way up underneath. I'm so glad it's up top. That'll be nice. This is a 2.5-inch receiver from the factory, so I've got to get an insert for that. I'm not a big fan of it. And this is cool. If you guys have any F250s, new F250, these are dented from the factory. I thought that somehow these got dented, and they shouldn't be, but when we went to the Ford dealer for some service work, which I'll talk about that, yeah, they're dented like that on both sides. I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but all of them on the lot were dented just like that, so that's normal. The truck, we had to take it in because the blend door for the defroster up top here was stuck, and we didn't even realize it. Heidi and I was driving around, and this truck was so quiet inside. And we had the heat on, and you can see they changed it for this year. Instead of giving you one button that you get to choose, you got 3 buttons. You can actually turn on all 3 zones, which is kind of strange. But anyways, I'll get a little closer there for you. we had it on floor only, and it was quiet and it was blowing on the floor, and then all of a sudden it like popped. It just went thunk, like a door opened, a blend door. And then there was a lot of noise that seemed to be coming from up top here. So we went to the Ford dealer and said, hey, we think something came loose or something, because it's kind of noisy up top, even though I have it pointed down at the bottom. Well, the mechanic, real nice mechanic, he drug us out to a brand new one that was sitting on the lot. There was a bunch of them. And he put the key in, he turned it on, he goes, it sounds just like this one. And I said, I'm telling you, there was something else happened. It like popped and it got noisier. And he said, well, play around with the controls, see if it does anything different than yours. So we turned ours on high and we put it on this, and then we felt all the vents and listened to the noise. And then we turned that off and anyways, we went through all the positions, and both trucks sound identical. So it's just the way that they were supposed to sound. And here our blend door was kind of stuck, and we weren't getting anything up on the windshield. We didn't even know it. That was the only thing that we had as far as problem wise service. And of course, having a warranty is kind of nice. So some of the other features that we have, this has the added leaf back here, and that's for some extra GVW, which I talked about that before on the you know, this old truck has the same thing. It essentially looks the same. As far as the front springs though, we have a snowplow package, so they upgraded the front springs just a little bit. There's some changes there. You can tell Heidi's been in here. Yep, they're just manual seats. Remember, this is a XL. It just happens to have an STX package, so this is kind of a base model, but we got a lot of options that were added. We have the Sync 3 system, which is really cool. I don't know how much we're going to be able to see of this if I put the key in here, but we'll go ahead and do it anyways. With that system, we can connect to our phone. All we got to do is we have 2 USB ports down here we plug into, and whatever map system we want to run, either Google Maps or we can run Waze maps, and they just come up and they navigate. Now, we didn't pay for the navigation system that's built in for this one because it was too expensive, and quite honestly, my GPS is going in here. As I mentioned before, I really love my Garmin new Vicam GPS, and it's going to stay in here. I don't know where we're going to mount it yet. We've talked about that a little bit. The other thing is I think I'm going to buy a separate monitor, go ahead and bring it into the truck, so when we're towing, I can just bring it out and set it up on the dash, and I can view the back of the trailer, because I kind of like that, being able to see the back of the trailer. But I don't want to take it out of this truck over here, because of obvious reasons. The truck is going to be sold, and I think it's a nice option. We also did tint the windows, and I see there's still a couple of bubbles over there. Those should hopefully go away soon. It takes about 7 days in this weather. The back windows are tinted a little bit heavier, and we didn't tint that one at all. Why wouldn't we do that? Well, you know, we're going to get a cap, and we know from having caps like that on the last, not only this truck, but the truck prior, you don't want tinted glass in between the 2 windows because you can't see into the bed of your truck. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Well, this Sync 3, let's go back to that. That's all voice activated stuff. Let me go ahead and start the truck for you, because there's other things that we can show you. The voice system, you just kind of click this little button on the steering wheel and you say whatever you want, especially when it's hooked up to the phone. Sirius. I don't know what that is. We don't listen to Sirius. It's free for a while, so we're going to have that in there for just a short time. The nice thing is, Heidi had called me on her way home from work a couple of times, and these little doodads up here are microphones. And I'm going to tell you what, I had no idea she wasn't on her phone. I mean, I honestly didn't. Those things are so crystal clear, and they're so close. I mean, I'm touching it, and I mean, I am a foot away. I don't know. Here, you can see how close I am to the microphones. I mean, I'm just right here. So the fact that she was being heard so clearly, and I don't even know how I found out that. But I said something about, "Are you on the speakerphone?" And she said, "No, I'm connected to the truck." And I said, holy cow, I didn't even know. So it's good. And as far as the stereo in here, it's okay. The other thing that we have is this locking differential. I don't know if you can see, driver's door ajar. It keeps on telling me over and over again. There we go. If I pull this little knob out right here, it'll give me an indication up on the dash. See down there, that little tiny light that shows up? Right now, the rear axle is locked solid. Both wheels will travel the same distance, no matter if I'm turning or not. So it would tear up my driveway, being as muddy as it is, just backing up right now if I was trying to turn it into the turnaround, because that's nice. Actually, we've been in some mud after this little fiasco we had out here with the firewood the other day, and we just pulled that and that was it. I mean, that's all it really needs. Heidi uses this a lot. It helps her. I mean, she's never driven really a big vehicle. She drove my truck a few times, maybe a week or two at most, to work when we were working on her other car, that little Honda. But it's kind of nice because she can see all around the truck. I don't know if you can tell there, but those cameras do a simulation of what the truck looks like and how close it is to things, and it's pretty accurate. It does a really good job as far as the view that it gives you when you're just like this, not going anywhere. It shows you the front camera, so as you pull into a parking spot and you're getting close to the people in front of you, you just hit the button and it'll show you again all around the truck and your front bumper. You have choices up here for cameras. This auxiliary camera, which we don't have, it'll say it's not connected. That goes for the travel trailer if you want to buy that wired system, which we don't. This one here is for the bed of the truck. Now, once we get a cap, this camera's not going to do us any good. So we'll just have to deal with that. Then you have your front super wide angle. I mean, you can see my truck, the old F250's bumper over here, and look how close that is. That is a super wide angle view. So if you're getting really close to something and you want to see how close you are, you just click that. That's on the front camera. That's a normal front camera. And again, this is the 360. And then once we put it in reverse, let me go ahead and do that real quick. That's behind us. So whenever you're backing up, it'll show you, based on where the steering wheel's at, where you're going to turn to. I don't know if this is coming across in the camera, but yeah, it shows you where you're turning. And I don't need all this stuff myself, but it sure does help Heidi. It's helping her a considerable amount. What other features? Okay, all these up here are wired in. They have power going to them, and I can connect to them underneath the hood. There's wires out there that's marked, you know, aux 1, aux 2, aux 3, and I think 3 of these are like 20 amp, and maybe there's a 30 amp, and then I think there's a 40 amp. So we can hook into stuff. You know, if I wanted to put, for example, a CB, I could run the wires outside and I can make it to where my CB comes on with this. If I want to put driving lights, you know, whatever. That was just an option that was on the lot, so we went with it. These are all the dimmer stuff as far as turning on and off the lights. I don't even know. Oh, eyeglass holder. I guess I could use that. I don't really use that for the most part because I wear glasses. This is one of the nicer features. That you have a 400 watt power inverter. Of course, you have a power port there. You have a power port down below. And back here, that box right there is the power inverter. That's the 400 watt power inverter's underneath there. That's kind of cool. Of course, the brake controller. Yeah, trailer disconnected. We get it. It's got a lot of nice features that initially we thought, wow, this is way too much because we're so simple. But here's a little glove box area, very small, but they did try to utilize some space there. That's kind of nice. And then, of course, your normal glove box. Then here you have your normal little under counter thing. This is the jump seat, which we won't use necessarily. And then there's storage down here too. And then this cup holder flips around. You can put the cup holder inside so it's out of your way. But of course, we're using the cup holder, which these cup holders are exceptional. They're a lot better than we expected. They don't have anything fancy on them except these rubber nubs. Again, I don't think you're going to be able to see them, but those things are pretty nice. They lock the cup in when you put it in. Of course, this is removable so you can clean it. That's a lot better than my old one. In that truck, you can't do that. So a lot of nice features. I'm not going to go over all of them. There's no sense in it. I just want to show you the cameras more than anything else, because as far as backing up and getting around stuff, this thing really lets you know how close you are to things. I was impressed with that. Again, it's a simulated picture. It's fake. It's a fake picture. Obviously, the truck's not that color, and you can see my hand's not this big. La 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 la. Monster grabbing the truck. Crunch you. I'm going to crunch you. And of course the tow haul mode, which I've got to screw around with this a lot more, but this will allow me to lock out gears. I can set my gears and lock them out doing this. Again, I'm not sure exactly how all that works, but we'll figure it out whenever it comes time. I'm not really concerned about it right now. And as far as the dash, you got a lot of stuff that you can look at. I've never messed with a lot of this stuff. You can see we only have 615 miles, but here's, you know, again, there's so much stuff here. There's so much stuff. You could do tire pressure. I mean, I don't want to go through all these things, but there's a ton of features in here that, who knows? Yeah, like I said, I'll figure it out eventually. As far as the app on the phone, it's Ford Pass, and basically anywhere, when Heidi's at work and she's got the truck, I can look at this. I can start the engine, I can unlock the doors, I can lock the doors, and I can get details on the vehicle. Again, this isn't connected to the truck through a direct connection. This is through the internet. Showing how much distance to empty, so it shows how much fuel we got. The one thing we're having a problem with is it's unable to locate. It used to show us where the truck was all the time. And then there's our tire pressures, our oil life, the vehicle hotspot, which we do have a hotspot in here. That's kind of a nice feature to have, because there's lots of times we're in the store and we just push the button on the phone and get the truck running to warm up by the time we get out there. Of course, that just wastes gas, so we usually don't do that too often unless it's really cold and we got a long walk. But yeah, overall, really nice truck. Even though it's a base model, we got a good deal on it and we're really happy with it. Somebody had asked, who was that? I was chatting with him on Gmail. He was asking me what the extra heavy duty alternator was, and this alternator is a 240 amp alternator. I don't know if I'm ever going to need 240 amps, but it's on there. I was excited when I upgraded this one to 130 amps, and this one's 240. For the most part, this looks like an engine I could possibly work on if I ever had to the point where Heidi's already told me no, because I was looking at the exhaust manifolds, which are cast like headers. I was thinking about getting some stainless steel headers. I'll tell you what, if Banks makes headers for this, I would definitely put them on there. And as far as this air box, eventually I'd love to get rid of this thing and put a nice K&N cold air intake or something, but we'll leave it for the time being. And everything else is insulated really well. You see that firewall, how padded it is. It's real quiet back inside the truck. That's why we noticed that wind noise so much. And everything's LED. All these little lights, like that's LED. When we open up the truck, this hood's so light too. I don't even know why they need hood props. The lights on the back of the cab are LED. The lights on the back of the tailgate lights up whenever you open a door. I don't know if we can see it back here or not. Oh, it's not dark enough. This is an LED. It gets real bright. So I got to do some work today on the truck. If you look, when I open the tailgate, there is no assist. Even though this is aluminum and it's a lot lighter than that one over there, I'm going to go ahead and add a tailgate assist. So I'm going to do that on my other channel. I'm going to let you guys go so I can start into that. So as it gets muddier out, we just did our first modification on our new truck, didn't we, Heidi?
Yes, we did.
And Heidi's going to demonstrate it. Show, Heidi, show everybody how it works. Before, our tailgate used to slam when you opened it. And now,
look at that.
we're so easily amused. I went ahead and did on my other channel, I did a shock install. Heidi helped me out. It's funny, they still give you little cup holders, like you're at a tailgate and you need a place to put your beer. There's a cup holders, just detents. Remember in the old 66 Impalas, when you dropped the glove box door inside on the passenger side, they had these indents, so you had a place to put your cups like at the drive-in and that. It's kind of funny. But yeah, so going up it's the same, but coming down you just release it and let it do its job with a little bit of a snap at the end. That was an easy enough install. Heidi did most of the work. She held the tailgate because I do everything by shortcut. All right, so I think we're pretty much going to be done with this today, but we did want to talk about some other stuff, and we might have to do that on another video. So I'm going to close this video out, and we're going to pick this up on another video that will be shortly after this one. So as always, we hope to see you out there.
Bye.
Bye.